detection by turning off their lights and fleeing when anything gets close. And get this, it's been going on since mid-November. Almost a month, really? And you got your garden variety recreational drones. These are actually considered big boy drones, talking the size of bikes or even small cars. Some of them are even 6 feet in length. They've been spotted near a military research facility. They've been seen over Donald Trump's Bedminster golf course. Even the Coast Guard has encountered these drones. Just a moment, I'll speak with someone who's seen these drones firsthand and launched his own drone to try to investigate, only to suddenly have it malfunction when he tried. Now the FBI and Homeland Security say there is no evidence that they pose any national security threat. That's not good enough for officials who are asking, well, then what are they? It's not quite quieting those who are in New Jersey or in Washington, D.C., be they Democrat or Republican.
They should be shot down if necessary because they're flying over sensitive areas.
The whole government, state police, Department of Homeland Security, the governor, they need to take this way more seriously.
It's a bit embarrassing that given the length of time and the number of sightings, that we don't have information.
I think it's time that these federal agencies that are responsible for this come clean and say what they know to the public.
Until you know the origin and what these drones' intent is, how can you tell me that there's no imminent threat?
I mean, that's a good point. And the demands are for information, they're getting so loud that the White House is also having to weigh in.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. It appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
Well, the FBI and DHS are also saying that many of the sightings appear to be manned aircraft, as you heard from Kirby. The Defense Department is also waving off any threat as well, especially after a Republican lawmaker suggested Iran could be involved. But you know, things are getting weird when words like mothership are getting dropped at Pentagon news conferences, right?
There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
No Iranian mothership. Okay, but the internet, of course, is speculating about a mothership of a different kind. The internet, undefeated, my friends. All Hollywood fiction aside, though, this is actually part of the problem, right? The lack of a clear answer is causing people to come up with all sorts of conspiracies that can spread fear and misinformation. And of course, there's the whole credibility and faith in the government transparency aspect as well. Joining me now, Republican State Senator Doug Steinhardt from New Jersey. Good evening to you, Senator. Listen, the White House is maintaining that these mysterious drone sightings do not pose a threat to public safety, that they're likely legally manned aircraft. You find that insulting. Why?
Well, look, it just doesn't compute for me. It's hard for me to accept that Admiral Kirby can go on a White House briefing today and say that they can't corroborate any visual sightings, that they're blaming manned aircraft for confirmed drone sightings, that there are no drone sightings in any restricted airspace, that he has questions, that they have concerns, and in the same breath say that there are no credible threats. Meanwhile, as recently as this afternoon, New Jersey Advanced Media, the publisher of the Star Ledger here in New Jersey, puts out an article citing United States military spokespeople, not civilian spokespeople, that as recently as yesterday, there were 2 confirmed drone sightings in restricted airspace at the Naval Weapons Station Earl in Monmouth County. The same article points to the fact that there were 11 confirmed drone sightings over the last 2 weeks at the Picatinny Arsenal, closer to my home county. And in our briefing that was held yesterday at my request and some of my colleagues in the legislature at the New Jersey State Police ROC, that the colonel of the New Jersey State Police confirmed that on multiple occasions he has dispatched New Jersey State Police helicopters to try to interact with these drones, only to, when they approach them, have them turn off their lights and disappear, unable to track them, unable to detect a signal, not knowing where they come from, not knowing where they're going to. And quite frankly, it's just not the behavior of any legal commercial, any friendly or any non-military aerial asset.
Well, this raises a lot of questions in terms of what constraints the state government would have over the ability to use the resources that might be available to do something about it. But also, there are some who believe that these drones, albeit the reasons you talked about, appear to be following FAA regulations with green and red lights, exactly what's required by the agency, even though you say someone turn those lights off. Could this be some sort of a private company testing a new product and they don't want to reveal their intellectual property or anything like that?
And look, that's part of the problem that I think we all have today. My big takeaway from the briefing yesterday is it didn't confirm anything we didn't already not know. So I don't know the answer to that. What I do know is I think it's a question of answers and actions. You know, if these are our American assets or these are some sort of corporate asset, you know, then I think the American public just is entitled to answers, and we need to keep asking questions till we get those. If there's some foreign asset or some, you know, hostile asset, you know, then we're entitled to some sort of action. And again, all of that, though, unfortunately, as we've learned, sort of falls on the shoulders of the federal government. You know, the state's hands are really tied in no small degree. So, you know, we need at our end to kind of keep asking those questions and asking for action.
Well, we'll see if any of those answers come anytime soon. This is since mid-November. State Senator Doug Steinhardt, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to bring in a drone enthusiast who is trying to help solve this mystery. Michael B. joins me now. He's also the host of Terror Talk. Michael, good to see you. You've heard, obviously, about all the questions that are out there. You've actually spotted these drones flying around Picatinny Arsenal in Morris County last Thursday. What did it look like?
They're actually out there every night. They're the size of small vehicles, the small little SUVs. They look like airplanes, but you know, you get a closer look and it's just too small to be an airplane.
So when you've seen these, does this give you kind of a recreational one or one that you've often seen before? Can you tie it to a particular company or anything like that?
No, what caught my attention was they were hovering over the Picatinny Arsenal. I had been seeing all the clips and TikToks and stuff like that, but they were hovering over the Arsenal even after flight restrictions were put out there. And why? Why are they doing that?
Why are they? And that's the big question. And of course, you have to wonder about the locations they're doing this all in. And in particular, as you mentioned, the Arsenal, do you have any theory as to why those drones are there? You tried to launch your own investigation of sorts. What happened?
I did. I saw the drone going over Picatinny, so I took my drone and I put it up in the air. And I went after the drone to try to get footage, at least get a close-up, see what was going on. And as I got close to Picatinny, I lost complete control of my drone, warning light on my controller, my drone spun out, and then I lost battery and it started to go right down to the ground. I actually had to go drive and fetch it and, you know, find it there.
Show me your drone. Do you have one with you? I want to get a sense of what this is like. Okay.
So this is what I sent up. And before I can even launch this, I have to go through FAA clearance through my app. So it gives me clearance. I went up, and like I said, as I went heading over there, completely lost control of it, went down, broke some wings and stuff. But why was my drone affected and their drone was not affected?
Has that ever happened before?
Never. I've never lost control of my drone. With a fresh battery, I can get 18 to 25 minutes of flight time, 3 minutes, and I lost battery. 3.
What strikes me is that you had to, in order to fly that, had to have some sort of FAA clearance or registration to do so.
Correct.
So to follow that thread, the drones that are out there ought to be registered somewhere. Someone ought to know the answers unless they aren't following the same protocols you are.
They're clearly not following the protocols that we are, because I cannot go up without FAA clearance. So if they're up there, somebody knows what they are.
So what's your plan? I know this is not ending your curiosity, and frankly, there are a lot of people who are as curious, if not more. You're going to try to intercept these drones again in the next couple of days, barring any technical difficulties. What's your plan to do so?
So I have spotters all over New Jersey. Me and my team are going out this weekend. We're going to just try to get underneath one. If we can get underneath one, I can get a drone up close enough, and we'll see what happens.
Unbelievable to see what's going to happen. It's scary. I wonder if the explanation is simple or if it's nefarious. We'll have to wait and see. Michael B., thank you so much.
Thank you very much.